Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever wondered how big companies find their security flaws before the bad guys do? Well, today we're prying open the digital toolbox of ethical hackers. These are the pros who literally get paid to break into systems, all to make them stronger for the rest of us.
So, at its heart, penetration testing, or pen testing for short, is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a company giving you permission to launch a simulated cyber attack against them. The whole point is to think like an attacker, find those weaknesses, and get them fixed before a real attack happens.
And this quote, honestly, it hits the nail on the head. We're about to talk about some seriously powerful tools, and the only thing that separates a good guy from a bad guy here is two simple words: permission and intent. It's all about that ethical framework.
So here's the game plan for today. We'll quickly touch on what pen testing is, then we'll look at the anatomy of a hacker's toolbox, meet some of the all-star tools, talk about the right operating system for the job, and then finish up with what is by far the most important tool of all.
All right, so let's get into it. What's actually in a hacker's toolbox? It's not just some random pile of programs, you know? Everything is organized, and each type of tool has a very specific job to do.
First up, we've got port scanners. The best way to think about these is like reconnaissance drones for the digital world. I mean, before you try to get into a fortress, you need a map, right? You need to know where the doors and windows are.
And that's exactly what a port scanner does. It goes out and checks a network for any open digital ports, which are basically entry points for different applications. This gives a hacker the very first clues about where they might be able to attack.
Next in the kit, we have network sniffers. These are the ultimate eavesdroppers. If a port scanner maps the building, a network sniffer listens to the conversations happening inside.
By grabbing the little packets of data that are flying across a network, a tester can see if any sensitive information is being sent out in the open, unencrypted. It's basically like finding a secret note that wasn't sealed in an envelope.
Okay, now web proxies are where things get really cool. They let you intentionally become a person in the middle. A proxy will sit right between your web browser and a website server, letting you watch all the traffic go back and forth.
Think of it like being able to pause mail in transit, open it, read it, and even rewrite it before sending it on its way. By messing with the requests a website is making, testers can find really complex bugs, like ones that could let them trick a website into running malicious code.
And of course, you can't have this conversation without talking about password crackers. These are the tools that test the strength of the digital locks, because let's be real, you can have the strongest fortress in the world, but if the key is just password 123, none of it matters.
So their job is to take that scrambled or hashed password data that systems store and just try to guess the original password. They do this by throwing millions of possibilities at it every second, which is a great way to see if an organization's password rules are actually strong enough.
Okay, so now that we know the basic categories, let's meet some of the legends of the game. These are the names you're going to hear over and over again if you ever look into the world of cybersecurity.
So here's a look at 3 absolute industry titans. For mapping out networks, you've got NMap. For digging deep into web applications, there's Burp Suite. And for seeing just how strong passwords are, you've got John the Ripper. Each one is a legend.
Oh man, NMap is truly iconic. For a lot of testers, it's the very first command they run on a job. It does so much more than just find open ports. It has this incredible scripting engine that can actually figure out what software versions are running on a system and even check them against a huge database of known security holes.
When it comes to anything web-related, Burp Suite is king. It's basically that web proxy idea we talked about, but turned up to 11. It lets a skilled pester find these really subtle flaws that an automated scanner would just completely miss, like tricking users into clicking on invisible buttons or forcing their browser to do things they never intended.
So you've got all these amazing tools, but where do you actually run them from? You don't just throw them onto your everyday computer. Nope. Ethical hackers use specialized operating systems, basically a digital workbench that's custom-built for the job.
And for anyone starting out, the choice usually comes down to 2 major players. On one side, you have Kali Linux. It's the industry standard, absolutely jam-packed with hundreds of pre-installed tools. On the other side, you've got Parrot OS, which is a bit more user-friendly and also puts a big emphasis on privacy.
But you know, after all this talk about software and all these cool programs and operating systems, we've finally arrived at the most critical, the most essential part of any ethical hacker's toolbox. And here's the kicker. It's not something you can download.
And this quote just gets right to the heart of it. The tools are incredibly powerful, but they are absolutely nothing without the right person pulling the levers. An automated program might find the obvious problems, but it's the human mind that sees the bigger picture, connects the dots, and comes up with a creative way past the defenses.
In the end, the most effective tool is a combination of these 4 human traits. It's that burning curiosity to take things apart just to see how they work. It's the creativity to find a path that no one else saw. It's the persistence to keep going when you hit a brick wall. And above all, it is the rock-solid ethics that guide every single move you make. That's what makes a great pen tester.
So, we'll leave you with this to chew on. You've seen the tools, you've met the legends, but understanding the software is just step 1. The real journey starts when you begin to build that hacker mindset.
Hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Ethical Hackers Toolbox, definitely do us a favor and hit that subscribe button for the Priyank Gada channel for more explainers just like this one. And don't forget to check out the description below. I've put some really great links and resources in there if you want to learn more. Thanks so much for watching.